Oh, there we go.
What is up? Welcome to another edition of SacTown Movie Buffs. Once again, I'm Kier, and this is Jason, and today we are back doing another show. Today we will be reviewing a new film that is streaming on... Is it Netflix? Where's it streaming? Netflix.
Yep.
Called Oxygen, which is actually a foreign film. And I'm going to have Jason take this one on. So without further ado, I say we get right into it. Let's talk about Oxygen.
Sure. Oxygen is a new movie from, I'm probably going to mispronounce his name, but Alexander Asia, I think. I don't know. He's a French filmmaker who has been making, he's primarily a horror filmmaker. He kind of originated from like the new French extreme horror films. He did a movie called High Tension that I wasn't a big fan of. I wouldn't say I'm a huge fan of his, but I like some of his work. Like he did the Hills Have Eyes remake that I liked a lot. And especially, he had his biggest hit a couple years ago with Crawl, the movie about the I can't remember if they're alligators or crocodiles, but that was a really cool movie. So this movie is it's got horror elements, but it's a little more sci-fi. And it is basically one of those movies like Buried. If you've seen the movie Buried with Ryan Reynolds, it's very similar in that it is set 100% in a very tiny space where somebody wakes up and doesn't know why they're there. So in this movie, I'm probably going to get her name wrong too, but her name is Melanie Laurent, I think is how you pronounce it. Most American audiences know her from Inglourious Basterds. She was Shoshana, who is, in my opinion, one of the best characters in Inglourious Basterds, for sure. Yeah. So she's great. I know she's been in a lot of movies. She's been in a lot of French films. I probably haven't seen a lot of her work, but I'm a fan of hers. And essentially, she wakes up inside of a cryogenic chamber, like Ryan Reynolds in the coffin and Buried, with no idea why she's there or what's happening. So then she has to kind of figure out what she's doing there and how to get out of it. And much like Buried, I'm a fan of this kind of premise. I like locked room settings, almost real time. I think it is. I like that kind of stuff. I know a lot of people think that doesn't sound interesting. I love it. And this movie, it does find a really interesting way to keep things interesting, believe it or not, for that time. Because she's in there, and it's kind of a loosely science fiction premise because she's in there with kind of a kind of a HAL 9000 kind of character, like from 2001, like a computer that talks back to her and answers questions. And so, believe it or not, this movie does find a way to keep it visually interesting and narratively interesting for the whole 90 minutes, in my opinion. Because I don't want to say too much more about it because it would kind of spoil a lot of, to me anyway, a lot of genuine surprises that kind of unfold over the course of the hour and a half that this movie is. So I don't really want to say too much more about it. I will say that it's quite suspenseful. It's very well acted. And there's quite a few surprises. And there's a couple things about the story that I thought I wasn't sure quite added up. But in general, I enjoyed this movie a lot. And yeah, I don't want to say anything more because I don't want to spoil anything, but if you like suspenseful kind of lifeboat scenarios, then I would definitely recommend it. And you got to not mind reading subtitles, but I've never minded reading subtitles. So I liked it. What'd you think?
Yeah, I liked it. I didn't love it. I did like it. I'm not as big into the one person pretty much trapped in something for the entire movie. That's... some people like that kind of stuff. I mean, I don't hate that kind of stuff, but it does get to be a little. I don't want to say repetitive, but it's just they're just stuck there and they're not moving and they can't get out and they don't know where they are and so it's intriguing at first, but the longer it goes on, you're just kind of almost waiting to see, well, are they going to get out or not, or what's the deal with this, and that kind of stuff. And then, there are some twists and turns that do happen. And you might have alluded to it, but I kind of don't think that it completely adds up. There was definitely some questions I had about some of those twists and turns that I don't think quite make sense to me. So I knock it down just a little bit based on, the plausibility, because I definitely had more questions once some of the things were unfolded. I had a lot more questions about it. So, but overall, I mean, I can't say that I didn't like it. I mean, overall, I would say I enjoyed it, but it wasn't. I didn't think it was a perfect movie by any means, but I did enjoy it overall. So
Oh,
yeah, and it's kind of a movie that
cool.
it's hard to really go into specifics about, because if you go too much into specifics, then you're kind of giving away the whole plot and the whole twists and turns that happen. So it's like one of those films that it's hard for me to really say what I didn't like about it if you haven't seen it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So that does make a little bit of a challenge. Other than to say that there was definitely some things that I feel like that don't add up. And the problem I have with these kinds of films is, even if I like them, like Buried or whatever case may be, I tend to not revisit them. So just because it's you're kind of waiting for whatever, this one's got a little bit of a twist. I don't think Buried had really that much of a twist to it, but this one has more of a little bit of some more twists and turns to it. But like I said, the way that it unfolded, it kind of left me a little like, I don't know if this is something I would revisit personally. So.
I will say that when it starts, I had some ideas about what I thought was going on, and I was completely wrong. So that's always good when you think you know where a movie is headed, and it's completely different. That was definitely the case with this one. I haven't watched the trailer. I don't know if the trailer spills anything at all. I hope not, but it definitely ended up not remotely where I thought it would. So that's cool.
Yeah. Cool.
And I think Buried, it's been a long time since I saw Buried, but I do remember, I don't remember. I remember I liked it. That's all I remember. So I'm sure there were surprises. I'm sure there were surprises along the way there too, but maybe not quite on the level that there are in this one.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, anything else you want to add about Oxygen then? All right. Nope. Well, that was pretty quick and easy on that one then. So I guess just overall grade and face you would give this one.
Okay. Well, we just finished recording the show on A Quiet Place 2, and it's kind of a similar situation here, but the other direction. That movie I gave 4 out of 5, just barely, because I think it's probably going to be a 4.5 at some point. This one, I'm giving it 4 out of 5, but just barely. Like, it was almost a 3.5 out of 5 with a B. But the more I thought about it, it does really succeed. I think it's important to look at how it succeeds on its own terms too. And I think it succeeds on its own terms a lot, and I did enjoy it. So I bumped it up just barely from a B to a B plus. So I enjoyed it. 4 out of 5, B plus, lower B plus, I guess. But good smile. I enjoyed it. I would probably watch it again sometime. Yeah, I think so.
Cool. Like, you don't have to twist them. I don't have to twist your arm, man. If you want to watch it again, watch it again.
Yeah, I will. Maybe I will.
Yeah, like I said, overall I enjoyed it, but I don't particularly see a reason to watch this one again. Just it's one of those films where I'm kind of interested to see what's going on, but once I find out what's going on, I'm not necessarily disinterested in it, but I feel like I'm watching it more to figure out what's going on. You know what I mean? Why she's in there, what's happening. But once I figure that out, I don't really have a need to really revisit it. You know what I mean? I guess because there are some twists and turns, I can see somebody potentially watching it a second time just to see how things unfolded, maybe. But I feel like this isn't really the kind of film that, it's so like, oh my God, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? They were dead the whole time. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? It's not that type of.
No, I'm just kidding.
It's not that type of a twist for me. So I don't really have a reason to really revisit it to figure out exactly what's going on. And you find out kind of what's going on almost midway through the film, basically. So it's not even like a very end kind of like, what's going on kind of thing. So I feel like you find out
sort of, but you don't. There's a lot more to learn after you find out like the big picture, I guess.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. In any event, I went ahead and gave it a 3 out of 5. So like I said, overall enjoyed it, but didn't love it. So I'm just gonna give it a smile. no teeth. But like I said, it's not a bad film. I definitely wanted to check out. I just, I'm just not like, I didn't love it necessarily as much as you did, but overall, I enjoyed it. Anything else you wanted to add about Oxygen?
Nope.
Cool. Well, let us know down in the comments. Have you seen it? Like I said, it's streaming on Netflix now. So if you haven't seen it, you can watch it for free if you have a Netflix subscription. Let us know down in the comments your thoughts, your takes on it. Did you like it? Did you not like it? As always, if you like the channel, we ask that you like, subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of our updates. And we'll be back again with another show for you guys. We thank you for watching and hope you have a great day. Bye.